What you see over here are the two jokers. The happy one versus the sad one. The successful one versus the pathetic one. The accepted one, accepted versus the rejected one. The validated one against the devalidated one. Alright? So let's keep this duality over here. Meanwhile, let's go to the deck of cards. So we are going to here. This is one community. Then let's continue with this one over here. It's community number 2. It's community number 3. Well, not really a community. These are the groups within what they call society. And here. So now you have these 4 groups. They're all in order. They're all functioning, restraining violence. People get relief. Within the communities, or say social groups, people are fighting one another, striving for the validation. And because of this, there's no reciprocal violence between the two. And it's this duality over here that keeps it all in check. And of course, as mentioned before, this one is covered up by this one. Nobody wants to talk about the pathetic joker. Everyone wants to speak about the validated one. This one is held as an example. Hold on, let's go like this. So do it. So let's do it like that. All right. This community here is messed up completely, but these ones are ordered. I said back then that they were all ordered only from appearance, but this one obviously doesn't function well, but they're striving to become like the other ones. And it's this over here. It's this over here that keeps this all together. Now what happens when people are focused on this happy joker over here? This is really what happens. The negative energy and all the waste energies of all this strife, all this violence, is now received by the happy joker. But the sad joker is still dying, is still decaying, is still falling apart, but nobody cares, because these ones are the real victims, the real goats of that society. But the energy of the people is now being drained by this joker over here. And by doing that, in the paranormal, people are, how do I say it? They are drained emotionally, collectively, and I'm saying spiritually are drained. And this draining keeps these minor cults that together form society intact. And folks want it that way because this brings order. And that's what a lot of people are obsessed with, order. They're not obsessed with safety, they're obsessed with order. So the happy jokers, they're not really to be envied at all, because they're just to cover up the collective crime against these people. And in some sense, they are the same as this group over here, but they receive the rewards. And that's where the power comes from, by using the denial of society against itself. Because it's these people that are looking for self-validation. It's them that need an outlet for their waste energies. And it's to prevent this from messing up and falling apart and people getting hurt continuously. It's to reduce crime and to reduce family tensions in order to secure relative safety for children and also for adults in general, these people receive the original violence, and now the remainder of that waste energy is sucked up by the happy choker. So it's this duality that makes all of this a real thing. Without the happy choker, you would clearly see the goats, and this would terrify people because this would reflect them. So nobody wants to become like the Joker, so they need to have a price to make this all worth it, to prevent them from getting off at each other. So this is it. So any attack on this happy Joker is an attack on all of them. Even though there are people from here that act out against these Jokers, because when you look at it, they kind of belong to the same class. Only there are those who are obviously the victims. I'm not saying they're innocent, but they're obviously the targeted ones, and the other ones are the praised ones to cover up that they're being targeted. Why have I repeated this? Because this is what happens in the paranormal. The killing energy of all that concentration of negativity is going to the scapegoats and the celebrities and those that are worshipped on behalf to cover up the original violence. They receive the remainder of the energy to drain the people, and that's how it remains in harmony. So anytime you worship a celebrity, you are contributing to this thing over here. And often people are not aware of that. These color jokers are only there to hide this, because this is what people want to avoid at all costs. If this would come to the light, man, people really don't want that to happen. And this is what keeps people motivated to keep moving in a social game and to keep giving respect and all of that. Because if this duality would fall apart, people would see that it's the same thing. And this is just a cover for this. The moment people would realize this, then all of this here will become as colorless as this one over here. But people are so attached to this over here, and they use this over here as validation to keep this going. Now, I hope I have answered your question. Some people ask me what happens to all the energy that people emit when they're worshiping celebrities or stars. Now, here you have it. That being said, be at peace.